Solana has made a bullish pattern reversal signal, which means it's likely to go as high as $15 and beyond. And today we're going to break down the reasons why. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into Solana. Today we're going to do the analysis on an hourly chart. Now, I know there's a lot going on. The key concept you need to take out of this is that markets typically break down to fives and threes, and they tend to repeat themselves based on crowd psychology of fear and greed. So what we've seen with Solana is a nice impulsive move to the upside. What now looks like a pretty clean A, B, C correction. So it's a three-wave structure. And what typically occurs after a three-wave structure, if this holds down here, is a continuation of the former trend. In other words, we're looking for this high to get broken. And that's really, really important. We also want to pay attention to the weekly momentum, where it says the downside should be limited because it's oversold, and the daily momentum, which is now bullish, which is in an uptrend. So we want to consider buying opportunities because the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. And now the trend looks like it's reversing to the upside, and we want to take advantage of that as well. So here, I want to break down two more things before we go into a bit more detail. But before I do, I want to let you know my NFT collection is now live. We are doing pre-orders for the half of today, and then we go public sale tomorrow. There's 4,040 in this collection, and there's 6 main characters and £40 per NFT. We've made it really, really accessible to everyone, so make sure you grab quite a few. But the main thing is to note that some characters are more rare than others. The Mystic is the most rare. There's only 15 of the Mystic, and he gets the powers of everyone. Massive utility. The Mentor, if you're lucky enough to get one of these, you actually get 3 one-to-one 1-hour sessions with myself. That's right. You can either use them or you can sell them on the secondary market like OpenSea. The Trader gets my premium done-for-you service, which we normally charge £2,000 a year for. You'll get lifetime access, so it's really, really brilliant value. And we're going to be launching a lot of private content, one on the subject of business. So if you're interested in business, there's 1,010 of the business NFTs. And then the fun section. The fun section is just, I do breakdancing, spinning on my head. Well, I used to do breakdancing. I got some cool videos, one of which went to #1 in the British Asian charts as a music video. And I'm one of the main characters in the video, and you'll get to see that as well. So check it out, show your love, show your support. We've got a massive roadmap for not only 2023, but beyond. And we're going to be adding even more utility as well. So here's some of the back end. When you connect your wallet, you'll be able to connect to a lot of the content, never seen before content, and some private content. So we're going to just take it to the next level. So that's in the link below. Check it out. Public sale tomorrow and pre-sales right now. So you can pre-sale and pre-order your NFT. All right, going back to Solana. So one of the things I'm known for is trading. And what we're doing with reading the markets is understanding crowd psychology. And markets move in 5s and 3s. And what we're looking at over here, and I want to identify this. In fact, let's just hide this data so we can just make it a bit clearer. So again, we want to go in the direction of the trend. And it tells us here the trend is now officially up. So we want to look for those opportunities. The first thing I want to really bring to your attention is this here looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what does the markets typically do? 5s and 3s. But it's a 5 of a C. And that's typically the end of a correction. So it's likely, not guaranteed, but likely we're going to see this high exceeded over the coming weeks, days and weeks. If that happens, well, there's a few other clues. We have something called an overbalance of price. And this is what I mean. If we look at the buying behavior in this downward trend, this distance, in terms of how far up is moved, well, this move here is actually greater than this one and greater than this one. Maybe around by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% in terms of more. That's called an overbalance of price. And it's like buying pressure to the upside, the best that we've seen for a while. And that can be an early signal of a trend reversal. And we want to get in on the early part of a trend, especially before a wave 3, because wave 3 can be very explosive to the upside. This is a wave 3, but to the downside. You can see how explosive it is either direction. So now let's just zoom in this part of the market. And let's just bring back our drawings on the chart. A few things that we want to look at when we're getting a bit intricate with this. Well, what we're saying is if this is the end of the trend, this low should not get exceeded. So if you're using a stop loss, it should go no lower than this point. What will be an early confirmation that this low and this low is likely to hold? Well, if the price goes above this point, that'll be a good confirmation. And even if it goes above this point, that'll be an earlier confirmation that this low is likely to hold. So when I'm trading, what I like to do is become risk-free. And how you should be thinking is, what should the market not do if the trend is to continue? And that's where you adjust your stop loss, right? So it's all logical, mechanical, business-like thinking. So we're not emotional about trading, because that's where most people lose, when you get emotional in terms of, we're human after all, right? Fear and greed kind of plays out. So what I will be doing, I've got a long order on this already. It's above this swing high with my stop loss below here, is market's moving 5s and 3s. And even though this looks like an end of a correction, I ask myself, what's the minimum that the market should do if the trend does continue to the downside? Well, I want to become risk-free at that point. So what we could do is look at this and go, this is the first move up. It looks like a move down, and we should anticipate at least another move up. So I'm just going to do some Fibonacci ratios, and I'm just going to keep it quite fast and quite simple. Well, I say everything is in life is difficult before it's easy, so simple is relative, I know. But I'm just going to do this typical price range that we should anticipate Solana to reach, 50, 62, and 78.6. And then how long, if we're wrong, and the market continues to the downside, we should find Solana reaches this zone, but there's one other price zone I want to be aware of. And I've drawn this on my private charts. It's really these two zones over here. So just to summarize, we want to be risk-free in this zone over here, but the potential is that the trend continues. Let's just actually finish off with one last price target. And I've drawn this in advance, so I'm just going to show you the numbers, because at the beginning of the video, what did I say? I said $15 to $20. Why? I'm going to tell you why. What I've done is, because price, the more you can get this in your mind, and sometimes I know it's hard to get your head around because there's so much news, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and there's all types of people saying all types of things, right? But if we can keep it really, really simple, the movement, the distance from here to here, right? This movement, the markets tend to replicate itself. And that's what this ratio is. If we take a measurement from here and project it up, it's basically projecting this up. And if we add 0.618, that's what this ratio is. And this is basically the $20 range and the $15 range. And that's what we said at the beginning. This is a range you want to be aware of. So risk-free down here, taking full profits or trailing your stop losses up here, and really let the trend ride, because the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. So check out my NFT collection. Grab yourself some. There's 4,040 in the collection. It's actually celebrating my 40th birthday, 4 decades of life. And I want to give even more value. I give a lot of value on the YouTube content when it comes to trading and reading the markets, but there's so much more. When you've got 40 years of life and you've been working hard, you're going to learn a thing or two, and you can give back. And this is my way of giving back through NFTs. And again, 6 characters. Let me know which one you're hoping to get. Is it the mystic, the mentor, the trader, the business, the fun, and the fun cowboy? Each one is different modalities of myself, right? And you're going to get different value from myself. But the mystic, just so you know, if you're lucky enough to get one of those, the mystic gets everything. That's right, everything. The mentor, the trader, the businessman, and the fun. And all of them get the fun sections. We're going to be uploading some of my dancing videos. Gone #1 the British Asian charts with one of the dancing videos that was in. You'll love it. It's fun, it's quirky, and everything else. All right, let's finish with a quote. This is one of my favorites in the philosophy realm and personal development. You and your world are composed of your thoughts. The wise person controls their thoughts. That's something that Buddha said. But my understanding is, when it comes to thoughts, it's not the conscious thoughts that count. It's really the unconscious. Because what neuroscience shows is that we operate 95% unconsciously as human beings. Freud discovered that a while ago. William James, there's Carl Jung, there's all these guys that came before us. But even Yale University, not that long ago, published some publications that said, look, pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt, we operate 95% unconsciously, which means that unconscious controls your life. We are mere puppets to the unconscious. So then it probably makes sense that we rewire our mind to program the unconscious of what we want to happen. So we're operating 95% of the time on what we want to happen. But the problem is there's stuff in there that we don't want. Formative learnings, your younger years, your parenting, schooling, and just experiences. And sometimes you have to take control of that. And one of the easiest ways is repetition and just being aware of what you're listening to. Hence, one of the reasons I minimize the amount of news I listen to, because often it's pretty much just negative, negative, negative. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, grab yourself some NFTs, and hopefully I'll see you in the private community.